Alright, so today we're going to do an unboxing Q&A. So I did a post on Instagram, or an Instagram story, where I asked you guys to give me some questions that I could answer in a video. And that's what I'm going to do today, while I also unbox all those things that I bought today for some reason. Okay, here's the GoPro 9. This is what I'm going to use basically to get some more like interesting shots for some of the videos. It's really small, so it can kind of fit into different corners, and like you can put it on the water. So I think it will be pretty good for this vlog style of filmmaking, that I can kind of I can easily get some very interesting shots without having to use like a really heavy tripod or a really heavy camera. And it's also kind of easy to take with me if I'm going somewhere and I might film something. And while I open this up, I want to answer the question from John Manxia. And he asks, what resources taught you to first derive requirements before writing a program? And this, I think we learned that in school. Actually, we had a course on it that's called like, I think it was called like requirements, basically just that. And in that it was super detailed, and we went through all of the stuff. Yeah, it was super detailed. It was really difficult to just understand what the requirements for the actual grade was. So yeah, I just struggle with that, but that's how I learned about requirements for software development specifically. Alright, so that's the GoPro Hero 9 opened. And the first question done. Alright, so I have very like few shoes, but I needed to have like basically just plain old white ones that I could use for basically when I go out to town and I want to look a little bit nicer than just wearing like runners. So that's what I bought today. Fairly cheap, I would say. I think it's like $60 or something for these shoes, which I'm pretty happy about. Adidas. Okay, here's a question from Matik Meli. Why don't you make coding tutorials? I don't make coding tutorials because I don't really think it's that fun to watch, and that's why I like to make the style of videos that I make on my channel, which is just mostly for like inspiration, to inspire you guys to code a project, or maybe to try out some of the projects that I actually try out myself. Today we're hacking into a car. First, go to kali.org, then head over to the Downloads tab. Here you will find the Kali Linux live disk image. So a lot of people sometimes comment like, why do you even post this? Because it's not teaching anything, or like I can't understand what you're doing. But I'm essentially posting content that I would like to watch, if that makes sense. So that's my target audience, is kind of myself. I'm trying to make videos that I would want to watch. And that's why I don't do coding tutorials. They don't tend to do that well on big channels either, because they just end up kind of being boring. It's really difficult to make an interesting tutorial that people want to watch. And that's not the kind of content that I want to make either. So that's kind of the answer to that. Flo.lu, how old are you? I'm 26, I think. I'm gonna turn 27 in January. Alright, so a lot of questions are actually coming in about like what I do for exercise, and I've basically been going to the gym. That's what I've been doing, and now I'm getting into like rock climbing. I did that back in the past, and this is something that's pretty funny because it's so typical me. I bought some rock climbing shoes now for my new interest basically, but I already had rock climbing shoes, and I bought those when I was like 17, and I didn't really care too much. I didn't know too much about rock climbing. So the thing with rock climbing shoes is like you should usually get a size too small, or like at least just the size that you are and not a bigger size. And I'm size 43 in like European size charts. I just like recently got back into climbing, and I've been using those shoes again. And I took a look at them because I felt like they were kind of loose, and rock climbing shoes should be like super tight. And so I took a look at what size I had bought back when I was 17, and I just got like so tired of myself, because they're size 47 and I'm size 43. So for some reason I bought a pair of rock climbing shoes that are like 4 sizes too big. And yeah, that's just, I don't know, a funny thing. But basically, I've been usually going to the gym, and that's what I've been doing for the past like 10 years. And now I'm like kind of struggling to get to the gym because I don't find it that much fun anymore. So I'm trying to find something that I think is fun, and rock climbing right now is fun. Okay, let's open up the pencil. And while I do that, I'm going to answer native or hybrid development for mobile development, and that's asked by Daniel Koppelvis. And I would say hybrid development, and that's not because hybrid development makes for better apps, it's just that it makes for faster making of apps. So I'm not going to go back to making native apps, at least not unless it's like super necessary for the thing that I'm trying to make. Which right now I haven't found a project where I would need to actually do native development, so I wouldn't do it, but there's definitely benefits to doing native development. Mostly I think it is like compatibility with the actual device that the app is going to be running on, but I'm going to use Flutter for the foreseeable future, I think. That's the Apple Pencil. Okay, so let's do a couple rapid fire questions. MDAS96, do you have a morning routine? Yes, I do, and there's a video on my channel. Okay, what keyboard is this in that picture? And that's a picture of this keyboard. And this is the Ducky 12SF, and I've basically just bought the Razer keycaps. There's a green keycap set that you can buy. I'm sort of happy with how it looks, but I would want it to be a different shade of green really if I was able to choose, but it was super difficult to actually find green keycaps for some reason. Okay, this one is from Ryan Perk. If you weren't doing YouTube, would you spend most of your time doing freelance work? Probably, I would say. Alright, Yul Grand Valet asked this question. My favorite operating system and why? And my favorite operating system is probably going to be like Mac OS and Linux. And the thing is that like I haven't spent a ton of time with Linux, but I know like things just seem to work a lot smoother in Linux compared to Windows. Windows is like my least favorite, although I have Linux on my desktop machine. But and on there it kind of works really well, but like for laptops and things like that, I just find that the mouse pad is probably the biggest part for me in different like other laptops. It just doesn't work as well as it does on an Apple laptop, and that's why I kind of like Apple laptops in that sense. Right now I'm using a Dell XPS 15, and I really like that laptop. I like it because I'm using Linux on it, so that's kind of why I like it, but just the mouse pad's not working for me at all. Like it's super difficult to, like if I want to copy paste a really long piece of text, it's super difficult to actually select the text and copy it and then paste it, because it just kind of, I don't know, it's not intuitive or whatever. So anyway, Mac OS and Linux is my favorite, or are my favorite operating systems. Okay, this is from Lodes Stardev. How do you come up with creative project ideas? And this is something that's kind of difficult, but I'm spending so much time like thinking about videos that I want to make and things along that nature. So I'm just basically spending a lot of time thinking about ideas and like looking for ideas. So I'm acutely aware of ideas. So like as soon as I see something, I might connect that to an idea for like a project that I could do. So I don't know, it's difficult to say how I come up with it. It's just that I think I spend a lot of time thinking about projects, and that's how I kind of come up with them. Okay. What happens when we turn it on? And for everyone wondering where I'm from Sweden. All right, last couple things, just some memory cards and another thing. When will you release a new Flutter video? It's coming whenever I find a project that I want to do. I have some ideas for things, but I just haven't gotten around to actually filming them yet, but it's coming. Project idea. Hack your rowing machine to track your progress. That's a really good idea, actually. I have noted it now, and I'm gonna write it down in later on a piece of paper, because I think that's a pretty fun one. And this, in case you don't know, this is like a thing that I think I can use, yeah, for my iPhone. So usually right now when I'm doing like daily videos, sometimes I'm using my phone as a camera. So what this can then do is this can be attached to one of my tripods, and I can then use that to kind of have it stable so that it doesn't fall, because right now I'm just basically leaning the phone up on things all the time, and it's fallen several times. So this is super useful. All right, so the last question, do you type without seeing the keyboard? And this is by Yitesh Pawa, I think. Right now I don't actually have to look at the keyboard anymore, which is super cool. I'm still not great at like touch typing, so there's a lot of errors, but I don't actually have to look at the keyboard anymore. I can just type away, which has been super helpful. And my typing speed, because a few people have asked about my typing speed as well. I think it's about 61 words per minute, and I don't have to look at the keyboard anymore, so I'm super happy about that. Anyway, that's it for this unbox haul of some tech. I don't know if this was interesting. I wanted to make just a Q&A, and I wanted to make it have something else than just me sitting here answering questions. So it wasn't quite an unboxing video, and it wasn't quite a Q&A video, so it's kind of a combination of both. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you in the next one tomorrow.